just starting off session 4 here after 10:30 now. Let's have a look at our hourly gold chart on the left-hand side here. Zoom in on that. Our awesome oscillator currently below zero, which means sell signals for us. Price had that big drop off last week, did recover a bit, came back down, and now very much in a ranging frame of mind. So we will be looking for that breakout. How about another one of these? Wouldn't mind that. Meanwhile, on the 5-minute chart, we've currently got the MACD line above the zero, which means if it crosses below, and this awesome oscillator is still below zero, that's where we'll be entering. Better keep an eye out for that entry signal. Price could come down here. There's potential for these to become lower highs and lower highs. But what is on the calendar today? Let's have a look. Not too much. Quite a few holidays going on in East Asia. So in China, happy Mid-Autumn Festival. In Japan, happy Respect for the Age Day. That's good. It's good you can get it all out of the way in one day, right? Just breeze through it, and then the other 364 days of the year, don't worry about any respect for the elderly. Smart, smart. And in Korea, happy Chuseok Day, which I think is also like a autumn festival. Figures-wise, what have we had? End of last week, the Business New Zealand Manufacturing Index came in. Now we've got the Services Index. So how did the service sector feel about business right now? They answered their surveys, and it was not very good. There wasn't a forecast on it, but we can see the previous was 55.9, and the actual came in at 35.6. So quite a decrease there. Bit of a loss of confidence in current business conditions in New Zealand. Hopefully they can bounce back. PPI over in Germany on the Eurozone came in at 9 o'clock. It was forecast at 1.2%, already pretty high on the forecast with a 1.9 previous. And now we are seeing an actual of 1.5. So couldn't beat the forecast, couldn't keep it under control. The price index of the producers currently not looking too good. They will be looking to bring that down, I would imagine, in the coming months in Germany. Although if they were really keen to bring it down, obviously they would raise interest rates. So that option is always there. There's not really anything that's going to have much of an impact on us throughout the day. We've got 11 o'clock trade balance on the euro. That's going to do absolutely nothing. And then no numbers until 2 o'clock from Mexico. We've got private spending quarterly. Again, it's not going to shake gold even in the slightest. And then 2:30, that Brazilian central bank focused market report out weekly every Monday. And that's it for the actual numbers. That is everything. The only other thing on the calendar is you've got Isabel Schnabel making a speech at 2:35 and then immediately dashing over and starting a speech at 2:50. So she's got back-to-back speeches there. That's a busy 15 minutes for her. Okay. So not a lot for us to worry about there, which means we can get back on these charts here and keep an eye on the MACD line. Still coming down a little bit, but price is turning green in this period. About to close in 10 seconds. And all we've got to do now is just wait and see if that signal does come. See an even bigger green candle that formed there. It's getting up to that resistance level. Something I forgot to say with the economic calendar, it's obviously not on here, but it is the Canadian federal election today. I'm wishing luck in exactly equal amounts to all parties. Very unbiased here, very unbiased. Price continuing to come up a little bit. It's just reaching new highs as this new period starts. Moving up quite a bit now, actually. Doesn't get us any close to a signal. If anything, it gets this awesome oscillator on the hourly chart closer to crossing zero. And then we obviously need that recross then to be able to get in. We did have the trade balance for Spain coming in worse than expected, nearly negative 1.6 billion compared to a forecast of 0.3 billion and a previous of negative 0.97 billion. So not the best for them. They were hoping it was going to get better, but actually it got worse, as we do see price coming back down a little bit now. We haven't seen the MACD line really stretching into new highs as of lately. So it only takes a few good red candles to get us across that zero line. We'll see where the awesome oscillator's at 12 o'clock. Price really been going up the last few periods and looks like it's going to again in this one. Now we see that MACD line on the move has comfortably moved into new highs. And over on the hourly chart, we see that awesome oscillator climbing right towards that zero line crossover. If we see a couple more green candles, that will cross over then. Still an if though. Another hour has rolled on by. Price moved up and then has ranged for a little bit. That MACD line is still very high above zero. And on the hourly chart, this new candle here, you can't see the histogram bar, barely, but it is just underneath. So if we see a sizable green candle, that'll cross this period. But for now, we are still on the sell. 4 minutes past 2 now, and we are seeing price come down quite a bit over the last few periods, and it has really taken the MACD line with it as well. If it carries on, it does certainly look like it's going to cross over zero. But if we see the awesome oscillator over here, it has actually moved above zero, which means currently it's indicating to us that only buy trades we can take. So unfortunately, even if this does cross zero, unless the awesome oscillator recrosses zero as well, that is not a trade we are able to take. Be interesting to see what happens here. It's kind of awkward in this crossover period. If it does cross over, this is the first MACD over zero that we will have seen, and it's just darting towards there. If we get another red period or two, that is it. It will go over that line. And price has returned green the last few periods, and it's just stopping this crossover at the moment, but it's very close. And we're currently at 0.0. It's just gone under there actually. Where's it going to close? This is very close. And the MACD reading on that candle closed at 0.001. So the absolute minimum amount that it could have closed above the zero line. Here comes that close then, and it is going to be below the zero line on the MACD on the 5-minute chart, but it is above zero on the awesome oscillator on the hourly chart, which means no entry signal for us now. However, as I said, we can definitely now keep a lookout, see if we get a couple green candles like this, get that MACD line back above zero, get us into a buy trade. A few periods back, just for a second there, it did look as if it could have recrossed above that zero line, but now we see these big red candles come and the MACD line gets dragged away. 3 o'clock will be interesting to see how the awesome oscillator responds. I think it would need quite a bit more downward pressure to not see this increase a little bit more still, but it could be near flat. This was quite a run up for it that it's still trying to chase over the last 7 hours or so. Yeah, so at the top of the hour there, 3 o'clock, even after seeing price come down and form a new low there, because remember the awesome oscillator is done on medium price, so it does matter that it's a low and not a close, but we still see the awesome oscillator strengthen a little bit there. And here does come the bounce. We have had a couple green candles there. It's going to test this mini resistance level. Let's see what happens. Could have a buy signal in the next couple periods here, or could not, you know. And we should see this crossover happen now, and we do. So all we've got to do is have this MACD line close over that zero, and then we are into that buy trade. Okay, 30 seconds until the close of this period then. Had reached quite a high there, but it's pulled back. Like to see it. MACD line still across from zero, so let's get that standard deviation indicator up. Currently showing 1.01, 1.02 right in that region. Let's see for the close here. There we go. We get the signal to enter, and we're going to go for 1.05 on the standard deviation. 3 times that is 3.15. Can see our risk calculated on screen now. Better get in before that price runs up too much. There we go. We're in the trades slightly off from one another, and the spread's pretty gnarly there, to be fair. I would have thought they'd be a little bit lower, but price already surging. Let's get in that take profit and stop loss. So that will be 315 for the loss and 315 for the profit there. And subtrade B, 315 there, and let's set that trading stop loss on again, 3 times standard deviation. And we are set to go. Similar story with the standard deviation. It jolts up and down so much. You've kind of just got to go about in the region where you think's a good number in the middle of it, because it jumped quite a bit to the start of the new period. As long as you are about there, the smallest differences shouldn't make the biggest differences in this instance. So far, looking good though. Pretty choppy out there, and price has managed to find its way right towards that stop loss, and you can see there how much that's dragged down ever so close there. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see it trigger this period for a complete loss. We had it nice there for a couple minutes just above the entry price, but now it is coming down. But you never know though. We have seen that last period close green in the end after that low came very close to the stop loss here. And now this candle currently a little bit green as well. Could see it on the rise. Let's hope. It's coming right back towards our stop loss though now, and it does look like it's going to trigger just like it did before. Now it's even closer. That's a new low. Can it pull back? Pull back again? No. Stop loss goes. So that is a complete loss there. Let's put it up on the trade history. And there it is. You can see we got in halfway through that green candle. Got in a little bit of a run up, but then straight back down it comes. Thought we might have had a chance of the reversal here. That would have been really lucky had it come up just short and then carried on moving. But no, it does come down to that 3 standard deviation level and triggers both stop losses there. So that's $101.92 down for the day now. Let's see if this MACD line does recross below zero in the next few periods, or the price actually comes back up and keeps it above zero. Price had come back up against us, but continued a downward run. So we do see the MACD line cross over that zero. Likely going to close there at the end of this period in a few minutes. Still though, at Awesome Oscillator above zero, not a signal then we can take if it does close. And there is the close for that crossover beneath the zero MACD line. Looks like a lot stronger a cross than this one we saw back here. So that reverse signal could take a while to come. And we'll also be looking at how the Awesome Oscillator responds, whether that will cross zero. And it's just been 10 minutes since the stock market opened. We've seen quite an increase in volume and volatility on our gold chart. There's a lot of uncertainty in those markets around the Chinese property developer Evergrande, $300 billion in debt, and unfortunately cannot currently pay the bills that are due. So there is quite a bit of uncertainty about where that debt burden is going to land, or what the Chinese government is going to do, if they're going to step in or not. And so it's quite shaky over there. The MACD line just crossing over zero there. It didn't close over there. It closed slightly below. So we will get the buy signal though at 5:15 if it closes as is. I've got to say, if you're looking at this price action here on the 5-minute chart, I'm sure like me, you would be very unexcited about this giving you an entry signal. Look at these whipsaws and this crazy volatility on this volume. 4 minutes until that potential close comes. This close is going to come in about 20 seconds or so. Let's get that standard deviation indicator up. So we're getting about 1.2. It's bouncing around there, 1.19. We're going to go for 1.2. So 3 times that is 360 points or 36 pips. And our risk is on screen now. Here we go. How optimistic am I for these entries? Unless we just happen to get lucky, completely lucky, and just catch a breakout to the north here, then there's a good chance the retracement gets us out eventually, or the whipsaw gets us out, whatever you want to call it. That's just my opinion though. I don't want to be totally pessimistic. You never know, maybe a trailing stop will run for days and gold will go to 2000 before any sort of 3 times standard deviation retracement. But enough rambling, let's set our stop loss and take profit. So on this one, we'll go 360 and 360. And here, you know the deal, it's a 360 stop loss and then a trailing stop loss of the same 360. When you're wrong though, huh? Look at this break right now on this candle. That is some movement we are seeing. It could just head immediately for our take profit. Buyers stepping into the market heavily here. See if it retraces or pushes on. What we'll do with a push like that as well is we will trail our stop loss already on here. So we'll shift it forward about a third or so, so from 360 to 240. So we see it bump up there. At least now we're not going to have a maximum loss. And it keeps pushing there. And there we go, that take profit kicks off. And so as our trailing stop loss gets in, you can see it just there. What a push this is from price over the last 5 minutes. These are the type of things very difficult to predict. And as I say, I think there's an element of luck there getting into that candle right before that giant run up there. Hey, pretty nice though. And if we can get more of that, keep this trailing stop loss moving up and up and up. Let's make back all of that money from the previous losing trade and a bit on top of that, why not? Good stuff. Pretty heavy retracement coming in this period. Could see that stop loss go. There does go the trailing stop loss then. Didn't manage to get as far as where we grabbed profits up here, but let's have a look on the history. $20.86, so about 2/5 of what we were able to take from sub-trade A. But the important part is the fact that we have taken profit here. It didn't get back all of the losses from this morning, but we're now only $30 down for the day, so that is quite a bit healthier than it was before. Very pleased to see. Nearly coming up to 10 past 6 now. That retracement, where it caught us out, price has moved on since then and has carried on up. Not too much further up, but a little bit. It's just started to range off now as the volume slowly dips off as we head into the evening. On the Awesome Oscillator, it continues to move further above the zero line with strong momentum behind it, particularly after that last candle now. That's going to start to kick in. So I think on that basis, we are going to be pretty far from an entry trade. So we will call that the end of the session. 1 win and 1 loss today. The loss was a little bit heavier than the win, so we are down money today. Still just about in profit overall. $47.92 up on our $10,000. We will be doing it for one more session tomorrow as well, the final session for the Awesome Mackerel strategy. We will have a quick look at our trades in the journal though. That is our journal then, and there is the bottom line of being up $47.92. Still get to keep these colors green for now. And yeah, the two trades today, very similar to the two trades in our last session. In both those instances, complete loss on the first trade of the day that we took, and then on the second trades, we managed to take profit, but not as much with the trailing stop loss. Still, though, was definitely pleased with how the second trade ended. It did not look like a good entry to me, so always happy to be proven wrong. If we can get one more really nice trade tomorrow, a good solid trend, then I think we'll be able to close out the strategy in overall profit. That would be great, so let's see tomorrow if the Awesome Mackerel strategy can get it done.